Hello folks and welcome. Filming in 1080, this is Manjaro, Xfce desktop, and you can see my system information. The subscription logo is in the corner of a person with yellow brackets. I have well over 500 videos on all kinds of things. My motto is Linux is for all skill levels, Linux is for all ages. Today I'm going to talk about terminal commands, how you can reboot and shut down your computer. And with a different twist. What happens if you have more than one user on your system? This is a desktop. So today I have two users, Bob and Susan. Bob is the primary user, considered administrator, and Susan was added later as a standard user. But I will start with terminal, and then toward the end of the video, if you're interested in making launchers, we can talk about that also. So let's look at Bob's terminal box here. And I will dump up the history files. So this machine is using bash or bourne again shell, and I only have 5 entries: reboot, power off, man reboot, and history. So the command reboot, if I was the only user on the system, I should be able to perform that. There's other derivatives of this command, by the way. And you can also issue a power off. And all you need to do is hit enter. I'm going to caution you though, if you decide to play, save your work. If something is open, save it. Line 3 and 4 are the description of those two commands, and they're generally the same description actually. So I'm going to exit this and go back in and give you a scenario. Since there are two users on this system, what happened was Bob logged out and Susan logged in. And then Susan tried to perform a reboot command and got this error. At first blush, you may say, well, maybe Susan does have the authority to do a reboot. Actually, she does, even though she's a standard user. However, since Bob was already logged in earlier and doing his thing, logged out and gave the computer to Susan because they're sharing the same computer in the same household, Bob had already logged in prior and logged out. But the system is still indicating that user Bob is logged in on TTY7. But the system is also telling you you can override it with this command, systemctl reboot-i. I'll give it to you on a bigger shot here. There we go. That will override it. But you have to think about this command if you are using multiple users on your system. Did Bob save his work? Hopefully he did, if Susan is trying to override this. So just giving you some scenario. Now what happens is if the machine was turned off, powered back on, and Susan logs in first, then Susan does her thing, logs back out, and then Bob is allowed to log in. Well, Bob will also get the same thing. Bob will issue a reboot command and get Susan is still logged in. Anyways, just wanted to share those two scenarios with you. I'm going to reopen up terminal and make this thing a little bit bigger for you. And we're going to investigate man pages. When you type in man and either reboot or power off, let's try that again. Spelling helps. So you'll get a definition of these three commands right here. They're all the same. But generally, I'm just talking about power off and reboot today. So if I have no Susan, and if I'm the only guy, Bob, we'll just leave the made-up name. So if Bob is the only user on the system, then he can generally just issue a power off in terminal and hit enter. And again, save your work before doing that because this stuff shuts down in a heartbeat. It doesn't ask you questions. Same thing with reboot. Unlike this thing, it waits for you to click. All right, so you can see the options that are in here. At no point did I look, when I looked through here, I saw the -i option. But it does make references to systemctl right there. Okay, so in either case, let me show you another scenario here. So this is using that command, systemctl power off. I could have also used that one, but that's a launcher. You know how to make these. You want to hang around for 2 more minutes? It takes me that long to explain it, but it takes 15 seconds to create these. Give it a name, give it a command, give it an icon. You don't need the comments are optional, no working directory. You don't need any of this other stuff. So if you want this icon, because generally it just always says no icon, if you want this red one, you're going to actually not use power off. You're going to type in the word shut. And you should find the power off or system shutdown icons. Just make sure you're in all icons, which is normally default. If you want the reboot, REB. Whatever icon set you're using, maybe different colors may come up if you chose a different theme. In either case, now you know how to make that. Name, command, icon, create. You can do one for shutdown, one for reboot. I'll caution you putting them on your panel because the fact is these are single click icons. I have my desktop set for double click. That's a little bit safer. And I can move this around also. All right, I'm up to 6 minutes. And at this point, the recap is you can perform shutdowns and reboots out of terminal. If you have multiple users and one of the users logged out and then you logged in, again, you may have to issue a different command if you're doing a reboot or a power off. Other than that, thank you for watching.